name is Darius Young, and welcome to Modeling Sonic the Hedgehog Part 1. In this part, I'm going to show you how to load your background image and get started with the model. So, what you want to do when you open your default scene here, um, first things first, if you don't know the keyboard shortcuts to get around, because I am trying to make this tutorial for beginners. If you have a if you have a middle mouse wheel to rotate around the screen, just click on it. Um, use the actual scroll wheel to zoom in and out, and then shift and middle mouse button, and then you can pan around the view. If you have a laptop that doesn't have the numpad enabled, or doesn't have a number pad, just go to File, User Preferences, go to Input, and then go to Emulate Numpad, and then the numbers on top of your keyboard will act as your number pad. I have a number pad on my laptop, so I don't need that option enabled. Now, when you first get into Blender, you're going to be in the user perspective view. I mainly model in orthographic view because it gives a more precise indication as to where everything is. So, to get out of perspective view, just hit 5 on your number pad, or your numbers on top of your keyboard, and now you see that everything is a lot more flat. Whereas in perspective, everything looks like it would if it were in real life. So the next thing is I'll show you the modeling basics as we go along, but that's just how to get around. And you select things with your right mouse button. So you see I'm clicking this light here and clicking the camera with my right mouse button. You can change this to left mouse if you go to File, User Preferences, and then where it says Select With, click left instead of right. So, to get started, first I want to go on the front view, and to do that, just hit 1 of your number pad. And now I'm in the front view. And what I want to do is I want to hit N on my keyboard, and then scroll down here. Let me close this other stuff up so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, go to where it says Background Images. Check that checkbox, and then click the arrow down. Then go to Add Image. Then you're going to go to Open. Now I put my images in my pictures. So go to where you have your images saved and find your picture. There we go. Okay, now the picture that I have is called the Sonic sheet. Now you see I have a whole model sheet of Sonic here. We are not going to be making this metal hand thing. We're just going to be making this regular old glove hand. You can find this image on Google. Surprisingly though, you cannot find it by typing in Sonic the Hedgehog model sheet. You actually type in Shadow the Hedgehog model sheet. Why it pops up for Shadow, I have no idea, but Google is stupid sometimes, so just type in Shadow the Hedgehog model sheet and then you'll find it. So now we have to set up the background image so that the front view here is completely cut in half. So it's half on one side of the blue line and half on the other side. So what we want to do is first, where it says all views here, click that and hit front. And then where this says back and front right here under the opacity, just click front. Now the image is in front of our cube, and its opacity is 0.5, meaning that if we turn it all the way up, you can't see the cube. If we turn it all the way down, you can't see the image. But if you turn it, up a little bit, you can see both the cube and the image. So I'm going to change mine about 0.327. That's good. Now you see these two buttons here that have 0.000 on them. This one is for the x-axis, moving it along moving it along this red line, and this one is the y-axis, or in this case z-axis. But y-axis in general, if you're dealing with 2D, it's up and down. X-axis is left to right. But in Blender, the z-axis is up and down, and the y-axis is back, front and back. So we're gonna change this by just clicking on it till we get it. Okay, that's pretty good off the bat, but I want to make it even more even. So we're gonna do, let's try 2.65. That's too much. Let's try 2.69. That's perfect. That's perfect. 2.69. Okay. So now we have our front view set up, and make sure that his feet are right on this red line, so you can kind of guesstimate with that. So if I just hit the arrow up once, you can see it's kind of right there on the red line. You can follow it with this dotted line. The dotted line that's at the bottom of his feet should be on the red line, and it is. So that's good. So now we have our front view set up. Now we can drop this down, and now we see it's only on the front. Now go to add image again, and now where it has like a picture here next to the word open, just click that, and then you can see a Sonic sheet JPEG that's already preloaded in our images. So now we're still in the front view, and the picture loaded, it says it's in all images right now, so we have all views, so we have to change this to right. And so now this picture's in our front view, and if we hit 3 to go to the right view, now this picture is in our right view. And this right here is perfectly centered. We don't need to adjust it or anything, except we need to move it up. So if we change this, first we have to change this to front, then move it up on the y-axis, and then now you see it's right where the other one is. And that's our side image. We don't necessarily need a back or a top image, because we can do pretty much everything with these two, so I'm not gonna do that. But that's good. So now we can get started. Let's just change this opacity down to 0.372. There we go. Alright, so now to get started modeling, let's go back to the front view. I'm just going to do his body just today, and then the next tutorial I'll come in, we can start working on the arms and legs. So what you want to do is hit N and T to get those views out of your way. Now what you want to do is hit Tab. Now, if you hit Tab and nothing happens, that's probably because your cube wasn't selected. So in edit mode, because this is object mode right here, so in object mode, make sure you right click over your cube, then hit Tab, and now it's in edit mode. You can see we have a few black dots here. These are called vertices, and you see if I move, like if I click on the red arrow with my left mouse button and move it left and right, I can move the vertice left and right. Same thing with the blue arrow and the green arrow. So now to get started with Sonic's figure here, just hit A to deselect anything if you have anything selected, and then hit A again to select the whole cube. Now what I want you to do is hit S. S is for scale, and basically if you move it out, it scales it up. If you move it in, it scales it down. It's pretty simple. So I just want you to scale it down to about right here. Then you see the blue arrow. I just want you to click on the blue arrow and drag the cube up to about right there. So now you see that the cube is basically the entire uh, circumference of the body. Now to get it situated in the uh, right view, just want to move this cube back a little bit, and down here in the this bottom tab, uh, you have two things already selected for your manipulator. You have the X, Y, and Z axis enabled, and then you have the arrows enabled so that you can move it front and back. I also want to enable the scaling, and to do that, just hold Shift and click on this blue line that has like a diamond attached to the end. Now you see that our manipulators have a like a square in the like right below the arrow. What that does is if you click on it, it scales on that axis, and so that's a bit quicker than just like hitting S then Y to constrain it to the axis and then moving it. You can just click on it. So I prefer this. So what I want to do is click on the square on the green arrow and just move it in some, like so. And in the front view, I want to do that again with the red arrow though. So click on the square here and just move it in. So that's good. Now I want to start working on the the shape to get it to actually wrap around this image here. So hit A to deselect everything, and then hit Z. This is now you're in wireframe mode. You can see I can select through my object, whereas in this mode I can only select what I see. So what I want you to do is hit B for box select and click over here and drag your box around these two bottom vertices, and then use the red square on the arrow and scale it in like that. Now we need more edge loops in the cube to get it to be a bit more round, so I want to hit Control R, and that you see we have a purple line here that indicates where the edge is going to be. So use your mouse wheel or page up and page down on your number pad to increase the amount of edges you have or decrease it. We're going to increase it to about this is good, and double click to make that selection permanent. Now hit Z again to go into wireframe, and hit B for box select, click and drag. Now you have the top four faces selected, and that's vertices selected, and that's good. Then use your box on the red arrow and click and drag in. Now to select a whole ring of vertices, hold Alt, and on the line just click. So that's how I'm doing that. So just want to round this out a bit more. That's pretty good. Let's get in here and use the blue arrow to click and move it up. Okay. Now to make things easier on ourselves, so we only have to work on one side, we're gonna do something called making our mesh symmetrical. Now how we do that is we hit Control R again, except make the purple line go in the middle of our prism here, and then just double click to make that selection permanent, and then hit A to deselect. Now you see we have a line cut in the middle of our mesh here. So now what I want to do is hit B for box select, and then select the vertices on the left hand side of the box, then hit X, and then where it says delete, click vertices. Now we only have half of it. So now if we go into the modifiers tab here, where it's this blue monkey wrench is underneath this little box here that has words like world, camera, all that kind of stuff. Click that, and then click add modifier, and then mirror. Now you see that it's on both sides. When I hit object mode, you can see it's like double. And click clipping. So now if we try to move the vertices in the middle apart, we can't because they're clipped together. So to continue editing, first I want to work on the side view real quick. So just I want to grab hit Z to go into wireframe mode, hit B to box select, and select these bottom two vertices here and move them in, and then do the same thing with these two right here. Just move that up some, and then do the same thing, just move that in. Okay, A to deselect, B for box select, then move it kind of down and in like that. A. Now another way to move a set of vertices is to hit G on your keyboard. So just hit G and you can move it, all around. You don't have to constrain it to a specific axis. I just want to move it to like right here. And so I'm happy with the overall shape. Hold Alt and right click this edge here, and then Alt and right click this edge here. And I just want to scale it in some with the green box on the arrow. Just scale that in like that. Then we hit 3. Just move this up like so. Then we can move these down. Okay, so we have Sonic's body done, and in the next tutorial we'll work on his arms and legs. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next part.